Hey, what's up, Falcons family? Hey, I know I'm a little late Sunday, but just to put it out there, if the Falcons win, usually you're not gonna hear anything from me till about Tuesday. I always like to try to watch the game again, and just so happened last night though, as I tweeted out, I was trying to catch the Panthers game, and Tampa Bay, of course. I'm gonna be honest, I only made it through a half of that because we know who both these teams are. There's not a lot they're going to change up schematically. They are what they are for 5 games in, and that just is what it is. So I pretty much figured what it was going to come down to. One team was going to have to win, and one team was going to have to lose. But either way it goes, Carolina's sitting at 1-4 right now, and they are unfortunately at the bottom of the division. Now, let's get to this Denver win, man. I'm telling you right now, we were not expected to win this game. Now, before the season even started, I had already tweeted out that I had the Falcons going 10-6, 11-5. Now, usually football outsiders, and if anybody knows about that, I really like that site, by the way. They always put out their, I guess, what you would call computerized predictions. And, of course, they had the Falcons having a losing season. And usually when they predicted the Falcons are not going to win, the Falcons usually have had a winning season and have made the playoffs. And so I wasn't too particularly worried about their prediction, but I do love their almanacs, man. You need to get them almanacs. It does a great job at showing tendencies of teams from the previous year. And speaking of tendencies, let me tell you one of the reasons why you should be excited about your Falcons team. As many probably do know, and some may not know. Usually after 4 games in, what does this mean for teams? Now they have 4 game tapes from the year, starting out of the season that they can look at to try to see if they can gauge some tendencies, any kind of tips that they can get, especially from the defensive side of the ball, so that they could potentially make plays from your predictive play calling or whatnot. Well, I'm sure the Broncos have seen Tevin Coleman and Dwight Freeney, for that matter, flashing across that coach's film for 4 weeks straight. Yet, they did not have an answer on how to deal with Tevin Coleman or Devontae Freeman in that game. Now, we got to give shout-outs to Patrick DeMarco, too, man. He is quietly, again, for the 2nd year in a row, doing his thing. And he has become someone that can also catch passes from Matt Ryan. Now, how about you came out of week 3 throwing a nice pass to Patrick DeMarco. Then you come back and run a similar play in this game, which Denver did not pick up on. And he gets some good yardage out of it again. Ladies and gentlemen, this game, let's be honest, really should have been more out of hand than what it was. And I'm sure when the Falcons, of course, they've already watched the film and they look at this and see how many more opportunities that they had, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The turnovers that they could have had, they could have been at least +3, +4 in turnovers, and they missed a lot of them. Now, unfortunately, we couldn't come out +1 because of the strip fumble that TJ Ward was able to produce on Mohamed Sanu. But hey, it just is what it is. You can't be too mad at it. We've so far really been taking care of the ball much better than we did last season. But man, I feel real good right now. I feel even better about Matt Ryan than the Matt Ryan in 2012. He's leading all of the NFL in quarterbacks in QBR with about a 121. He's got 12 touchdowns to 2 interceptions on the season through 5 games. And we went in there and we straight dominated the Broncos defense in good fashion. A lot of talk was they wasn't giving up touchdown passes to guys like Andy Dalton, Andrew Luck, and guys like that. But the thing of the matter is, they didn't play anybody really. And I'm just going to be honest. They got their first test dealing with us just like we got our test dealing with them. I remember before week 4 came up, it was going to be, well, we got to be tested against the Carolina Panthers, their top 3 defense coming in. We blasted them boys out of the water. Then it becomes, now the test is going to be Denver. We blasted Denver out of the water. Now, even though the points didn't really show it like it normally does, ladies and gentlemen, we was holding them down to about 6 points for quite some time in that game. They just could not find a way to score. We actually reversed it and did on them what they normally do to other teams. Get a lead, pin their ears back, and get out the quarterback and cause turnovers. Now, of course, Akeem Talib and Chris Harris Jr. had an opportunity to get some turnovers. But here's the one thing I've noticed about Matt Ryan this year, and Julio Jones said it. Matt Ryan is throwing that ball better than he's ever thrown it his entire career. And Julio Jones would know. He's been there with Matt Ryan for 6 years. And I think that's why they couldn't get their hands on the ball like they would have wanted to, because the ball was being thrown so doggone hard. They couldn't catch it. But I knew that Wade Phillips, because he's old school, he would go to football logic and double team Julio Jones. I mean, what team wouldn't? The silliest team so far that didn't was the Carolina Panthers, and we saw how that turned out, 300 yards and 503 yards passing. And you know, the whole week the Broncos was going into this game saying, we're not going to let what they did to Carolina Panthers happen to us. Which, by the way, safety TJ Ward said he was unimpressed with after watching the film. But he saw what it was about in person. Tevin Coleman mainly slicing them up. And once again, someone act like they don't know our running back's name. Now, week 3, New Orleans did it, calling Devontae Freeman a little running back. Then you got Chris Harris Jr. come back talking about number 26 killed us. Yes, he was right about that. Number 26 sliced y'all behinds up. He sure did. It was a great game plan, period. We got 2 of the best running backs in the league. And I said this, that we will probably produce and have one of the best, if not the best, running back tandem in the league. I can tell you right now, the memo is fully out. And Seattle could have some huge problems. Not just them, but other teams. Because what linebackers are out there right now in these next 11 games that we got to play or so, gonna be able to stop them. You're not gonna really be able to do anything. You're not fast enough to stop Tevin Coleman. The dude is running routes. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, Dan Quinn said it himself. Pete Carroll always told him, don't get too comfortable. Always find ways to do it better. And I believe he pulled Bobby Turner, Kyle Shanahan in that office and said, look, we need to figure out how to get Tevin Coleman running routes and catching his ball. They figured that thing out because you're seeing it right now. Tevin is catching balls like a wide receiver, running routes like a wide receiver. Dude 6'1", 6'2", about 210, running a 4.3 speed. It is not many linebackers that can hang with that. You can have as much technique as you want. At the end of the day, as they say, speed kills. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how Seattle is going to come at us, simply because they had a bye week. And history shows that Matt Ryan normally has struggled against teams coming off their bye weeks to face their offense. This has been shown. You saw it in 2012 with 2 teams who did it to us. The Raiders did it to us. Intercepted Matt Ryan about 3 times. And then Arizona come off their bye week and intercepted Matt Ryan about 5 times. But now, like I said, I do believe this is a much better Matt Ryan than we've ever seen. Now, they put that MVP talk on Matt Ryan 2012 too, until he played against the Raiders in Arizona. And they basically both killed that talk. But Matt Ryan is playing some good ball, y'all. And he making me eat a lot of crow right now. And I really don't mind, because I was all on him coming into this season. I was on the doubters train. I'm not even going to sit here and lie. But right now, he's making me believe, and he's making me believe we can actually win. Now, I got to give some credit to this offensive line. Are they going to give up sacks? Yeah, they've given them up every week. But the fact of the matter is, they have been able to pretty much stymie some top defenses up front and produce some big time plays. And I love it that Dan Quinn is being so aggressive. He understands when you're playing against a good team and you get opportunities to score, you got to get it. By him going forward on 4th and goal, Devontae Freeman was able to punch it in. Great play. Great decision. Great decision. And he's been doing that this year. Now, once you get to that 50-yard line and he sees that he can either possibly score more points on you or you need to score, he's going for it. No second thought in it. Period. That's just how he's doing it. And this defense, you should be getting real excited about it. I started seeing it in week 3. Now, did we get a lot on Drew Brees? No, we didn't get a lot of sacks on him. But guys, going into that second half, he only had like 180-something yards passing. We did a pretty good job all the way up until later on where he was getting a lot of garbage time yards. He had to throw the ball 50-some times in order to get the yards that he got, guys. But I can only imagine when you get Keanu Neal, Devondre Campbell, and Deion Jones on the field at the same time, how much better this defense is even going to be. Because we haven't been able to see that yet. And I'm hoping this week against the Seattle Seahawks, we'll get to see it. And word is Devondre Campbell could be on his way back. Deion Jones could be on his way back, and Paul Warlow. So we could be getting our whole arsenal of linebackers back. Not to mention we added A.J. Hawk, who's a good veteran presence for us. And speaking of linebackers, man, Kamal Ishmael continues to show us that he is worth it. This dude here is a 7th-round pick, man, and he doesn't play like it. And it's just so great to have him on our team. It's going to be interesting to see what the Falcons do. They need to keep this man. This guy definitely is a defensive weapon for the Atlanta Falcons. And Keanu Neal, man, this dude is popping people left and right. It even got to the point you can tell that guys were starting to get a little scared, wondering where number 22 was from the Broncos. You saw it. C.J. Anderson started all of a sudden dropping passes. And he was all over people, causing strips and all kind of stuff. You know, this guy is strong. He loves to hit. He can't wait to hit. He takes proper angles to hit. And you can tell there was a huge improvement between the results of those checkdowns of the Broncos marching down the field as opposed to week 2 against the Oakland Raiders with him in and when he was out in week 2. Did they score? Yeah, they did. But we made them use up a lot of time off the clock because why? Keanu Neal was there to make those tackles on them checkdowns when he needed to be. And it helps. And I can't wait to get all these rookies on the field at the same time, man. Another thing to be excited about, and we have been hollering about this, Vic Beasley, man. He came on at the right time. Ladies and gentlemen, the dead has arisen. Vic Beasley and that pass rush came alive on Sunday. And it's not necessarily worrying about a rookie QB. So many people trying to downplay those 6 sacks because it was a rookie QB. Let me tell you what you get excited about. You dominated an offensive line that was 21 in the league going into that game, which is something we hardly ever do because we make offensive lines look good that suck. We finally dominated an offensive line, whether the right tackle was out or not. Another reason why people try to downplay the 3.5 sacks Vic Beasley had. We dominated that whole line. Not only that line, we dominated the defensive line too as an offensive line. Fran Talkington used to get on my nerves. I be in the car, I'm on 680 the fan, I'm listening to him. And he always got this thing, well, Falcons were built wrong. You got to build in the trenches. And you know what? I have to agree because we always had outside skill players. But 2013 and 2014, we sucked in the trenches. But now you got two defensive ends that is getting after it. And you saw it come to fruition on Sunday. What a right time to put and display that type of thing on film going up into Seattle. I don't think y'all understand the magnitude of that. The tape never lies, and they got to watch it. And you know Russell Wilson was looking and saying, oh, snap. Now Vic Beasley is alive and well, and Dwight Freeney was already doing his thing, getting a sack in the last 3 doggone games, bro. That is huge. And look who also is awakening from the dead, Mr. Derek Shelby, number 90. Now, he hasn't gotten his sacks yet, but he's been very disruptive the last 2 games, getting back there in the backfield and flushing QBs out. And I look for that to continue. I think Sunday going to be another big day for us. These guys now know that they can get to the quarterback and finish. So, Russell Wilson, you're going to be running for your life. And if we get Deion Jones back, who seems to love mobile quarterbacks, because he seems to always be right there in the right spot to tackle them every time they're getting out of the pocket. It's like perfect timing. And man, like I said, I'm just excited about this. The things that we're doing right now is unbelievable, especially on offense. And now the defense is starting to wake up. What? And I noticed they had Courtney Upshaw back playing some linebacker in this game. And they had Ben Garland out there. Now, I didn't get to catch that because, when you're watching the game as a fan at first, you don't see a lot of everything because you saw it excited and caught up into the emotional side of it. But, man, it's just been great to be winning these last 4 weeks. And I know it's got to be painful for the media because they have to continue to wait and wait to say something. The big topic now is, well, they did this last year and they were colossal fail. At the end of the year, they go 3-8. I don't know what we're going to be after this 4-1. I really don't. And right now, I could care less because we are 4-1 and we on top of the division. Period. And after what I saw with Tampa and the Panthers, which I'm going to talk about the NFC South, the state of it, I don't feel threatened. Because one of the things that I know about the Falcons, and a lot of people that know about the Falcons, we don't do well when we got to compete head to head with another division opponent. We've had more success at making the playoffs or being close to winning the division when we've had a nice little cushion lead in the division. That's how we made it. If you look at 2008, we was up there with Carolina, but we never had a cushion that season. Carolina happens to pull it out in the last minute or so against New Orleans. They get the bye week. They win the division. Boom. 2009, we was neck and neck pretty much. We were 4-1 the first 5 games, but you had New Orleans. They hadn't lost any games at that point, but like 5-0 or something like that. Well, what happened to it? Matt Ryan eventually gets hurt. Mike Turner gets hurt. Both of them missed a game here and there. We go 9-7, but we don't make the playoff. 2010, we have a nice cushion. What we do? Win the division. First round bye. We make the playoffs. 2011, we pretty much battled with New Orleans. New Orleans ends up winning the division. We made the playoffs, but we were too close up on them and didn't have a cushion. We don't win the division. 2012. I know y'all see where I'm going with this. Same thing. When we had that cushion, what do? Win a division. First round bye. Make it to the NFC Championship. So history has shown we have to have a cushion to have a chance to win the division and make the playoffs. That's just how it's been going. And right now we got a 2-3 game cushion over Tampa Bay and over the Carolina Panthers. And of course, New Orleans, because they're third in the division right now, sitting at 1-3 after a miraculous win against the San Diego Chargers that just can't seem to buy a win right now. They giving them away. And maybe they'll give them away in week 7. Shoot, I wouldn't ask you to stop now. But that's down the road. But this is a time as a Falcons fan to be excited. Come on out, man. Either way it go, we got another 3 weeks we can enjoy being in the front. Period. So let's enjoy it. You know what I mean? Right now, Panthers fans are feeling real sad. Tampa Bay is like, if we can just get something going into the next season. They already looking at the next season. So let's keep it that way. Keep winning. And keep all the gloom and doom faces from all the other fans in our division. Again, my name is Toby D. Peace, Faith Football fans. I'm out.